not seeing his new little doll that he was obsessed with, or what exactly is going on here. But you could tell that it really started to annoy him for some reason with the end of his response. And he seemed to get even more annoyed with the very next question that was asking why everyone is always asking relationships.
So you gotta get it straight. They're Brazilians, and unfortunately, we already broke up. Just what it is. I mean, I already got a new one. We're 5. We're 17. We're 35. We're 65. We're 69. We're 77. Why is everybody so busy with my life and relationships? Because they're sucking behind her bed. They hide their people because their people don't do shit. They talk shit about mine. Like, I don't hide anything. If you don't like the person, I don't care. Well, this person was better. Yeah, that person was a dumb bitch. This person was actually fun. What you want?
And as you can tell by the line, this person was a dumb bitch. There was obviously something living rent-free in his head. And this Q&A was the straw that broke the camel's back. And I don't know why he even bothers to ask why people are so obsessed with his relationships or just viewing the destruction that he's committing on himself, or why he even answers questions about it when he's acting like he doesn't want anybody to talk about it. Because right after this, someone asked about Angie still pole dancing in Vegas. And Wes basically confirmed that she still worked at the club that he tried to get her to, and that I can only guess is the reason he took his Vegas trip. And he just starts talking some mad shit about Angie.
And still doesn't make any money. They never show the real part. I show the real parts. This is why everybody's so fake online. They don't show the real shit. They talk shit to you when you go to a strip club, but they work at one. Okay? And I'll show you that. And I'll show you how they don't show you when they use the guy on his card and I say he's broke. They're all fucking fake. But I'm still thriving, bitch. We got the chef, we got everything going. We got Thanksgiving. I mean, I gave more money out this weekend to simple, just than that whoever having in life has ever had in her account. So just check it out. Just check it out. Go be someone's side chick, you dumb.
So as you can clearly tell, he was obviously feeling some type of way and was mad that she got him banned from her club, and he couldn't go get a lap dance from the good old ex that he was basically stalking and harassing at this point, and he just started crashing out about it a little bit. And don't get me wrong, Angie isn't completely innocent in this entire thing, and she does her own level of grifting. But I don't know all these tattoos not wanting to be stalked by this complete dipshit who can't help but to freak out online every couple of minutes. And what's really wild is good old Wesley was still just getting started, because even when his homie Rob ended up arriving at the crib, he starts by hyping him up and then has to throw in another little jab right at the end of it.
That shit 100. Rob said, oh, that is $70,000 change. That's 90. 90, Mo. Step your game up, kiddos. Quit using my card for the groceries, kid.
Absolutely no idea why this man felt the need to throw that in at the end of this clip specifically, where he's just hyping up Rob Shane, but he hits her with a "stop using my card to buy your groceries, bitch." Just completely out of nowhere. Like, this shit blindsided the hell out of me. And this then led to him going on multiple little tangents about how she's using his card still and the things that she's using it. And the man's just ranting to the entire internet for no reason. I don't know why he feels the need to put his relationship issues out in the public.
Why don't he just cut the card off?
Complaining that everyone's obsessed with his relationship.
You cut the card off or something like that?
You could use my card for your groceries if you were a nice person, but you're not. You talk shit and then use my card for groceries. Where's your dudes at? Like, go get one of these lames to pay. Spearman Rhino ain't paying enough.
He said, go, he started on himself. He said, go get one of these lames to pay for it. But she used his money to pay for it.
A few bucks, kiddo. Not just groceries. Card payments, etc. Like, guess what else?
These
I'm talking
lames.
money.
She was doing it.
I like being talking about negatively if I'm still supporting people. Men support people. I'm a motherfucker.
Men support
They
people.
left. Exactly.
And as you can tell by those lines specifically, he is still mad that he was not allowed in the strip club that night. And apparently he would have actually given her more money than all of these other guys out there. And I don't know why he felt the need to go on this tangent again, because you could just see Rob in the background outwardly nod as he just showed up and this was the bullshit Wes was on. And it's all just so damn stupid. But it continues to get even more stupid because someone asked him a question who I I'm guessing was just trying to rage bait him and succeeded, and asked if he split up with his baby mama. And Wes got mad because he doesn't have any kids, and he starts referring to the little girl that was part of their relationship as a mistake that he was taking care of, which is just some really crazy work.
If you speak in this life, you just have to be right. Like, what you talk about has to be correct, you fucking bird brain idiot. Look at, you split up with your baby's mama. I don't have any kids. I was nice enough to take care of other people's mistakes, but this is the thing, like, that's their problem. The biggest thing in the world is you have to understand this. A man who steps up as a stepfather is probably one of the only men who actually wanted kids. Most of you guys just step and have mistakes. That doesn't mean your kids aren't worth. Kids are the best thing on the planet, and the ones that I was lucky enough to raise were everything. It taught me a lot of shit, but it taught me more about the dumb. How stupid are you?
And you just
What? He was like, how stupid are you, dumb bitch? Who was he counting on?
Just couldn't contain it. And I'm not gonna bash him for, raising this kid and trying to do that. But I will bash him for referring to them as a mistake.
Dude, that shit look like a sticker.
And for also constantly trying to use them to promote his own content when he was actually with Angie, and then trying to use them to get back at Angie, which we saw a couple of weeks ago, where he was posting
just like a troll and shit.
And after this, he started to calm down a little bit, and he finally started to relax a little. And he basically just started fucking trauma dumping on everybody because people continued to ask questions about the relationship.
This is why my relationships were very difficult, because I was not able to say that I was sorry for something I didn't think was wrong. And chicks need you to do that. They need you to say you're wrong about shit you didn't do, and you basically have to choose peace over war. And the whole point is peace for being right. The whole point is like, I just won't do that. I can't do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not able to accommodate someone's weak points and your shortcomings. Definitely helped too many people that didn't deserve it. And that's the thing, there's givers and takers in this world. And the givers always know that they're just doing too much, but that's what makes them go get more.
And as per usual, we yet again see Wes trying to play the victim and stating that he's just a giver that gave too much, and he's just unable to take responsibility for anything like he normally does. And all of this is all just crazy enough and goofy enough. But it seems that Angie saw all of these videos, and she actually decided to respond to Wes as well, and ended up exposing him again with a bunch of different pictures. And the first one that she ended up showing showed a caller log with a shit ton of missed calls. And she stated, imagine trying to smear me online while calling my phone on private and having your friends reach out because you can't take rejection.
Damn.
That's not a man, that's a tantrum. And she had the audacity to follow this up by posting Wes Watson's butt buddy Alfonso trying to reach out to her for Wes Watson and trying to get her to come over for Thanksgiving dinner, which I'm assuming she rejected, and which must have really pissed good old Wesley off. And she stated that he can't get a hold of me, so he gets desperate and has his friends reach out. He got on my group Zoom call last week, freaks out in front of my client screaming, yelling, and breaking chairs. He tells us on the call he sacrificed his soul and did it on camera. This man lost his mind and his soul. I don't have anything bad to say.
No, what's up?
And she was still not done.
Right here doing some scrolling and shit. I got two streams on.
She stated that what's happening right now.
Don't mind the Abraham Lincoln beard.
And when someone moves with wickedness, lies, and cruelty, they're not hurting me. They're building a debt for themselves that only God can collect. And trust me, he always does it better than I ever could. And she then followed this one.
Just warming up to get on some Call of Duty, but I might not make it. I might have to go get some groceries.
Having a beautiful Thanksgiving. And not to let anyone pull your.
When I come back, we're gonna get rid of them bots.
And she then decided to hit Wes with the final blow and stated that Wes Watson is still and will always be my #1 fan, always and forever. So Angie really came in with some crazy work, and at this point, both of these goobers just need to stop posting their relationship online, where people are just watching and getting a laugh from.
Yeah, that was funny.
Wes needs to go to some type of anger management.
Yeah, he called me a goober, and then I was like, what the fuck?
Because this shit is crazy. And
then he made it seem like I was stupid for not knowing that. I'm like, no.
And just basically continued to crash out.
Any advice for
I'm good, dog.
Quit none and
You fucking lame for even saying that.
And second off,
You fucking goober.
the big has 6 kids, and
No, it works with his era. But I'm like, bro, that shit, that's some kid shit. And you calling me a goober with some kid shit? Just tell me, fuck you, bitch.
I go to a restaurant to watch people watch.
You gonna call me a goober from SpongeBob? Like that's gonna hurt.
As I level up,
But it did. I mean, not hurt me, but I'm saying it was supposed to hurt because his friend was acting like I was supposed to be hurt by that.
They don't know when someone fucked them with it. They don't understand when that's just with it. She just said, "Hey, stupid bitches, don't be side bitches. Demand the first spot. Dumb, you're being laughed at, you dumb idiot." What do you say? I mean, nobody's even come close. Just what they do, like, oh, what did you like? 9 days in counting. I mean, like.
Oh, you got some momentum going? You're happy with the outputs and the results? This is going well for you? Crash.
Did you get that? I didn't like that most ever.
Crash and
And
burn.
yeah, as you can tell, the Thanksgiving crash up just kept going and didn't really come to an end until he left his home, where I guess they decided to go ahead and hit up the club and party. And that concludes our Thanksgiving story for good old Wesley Watson, and concludes our Thanksgiving meltdown. And at this point, it's just sad to see when the man needs to get some sort of help, because clearly something's not right. But if you enjoyed, please drop a sub in the like and join the Saints Mafia, where we are staying on all of these fake.
So I can keep sending him money, a little bit of change, so he can keep my channel going. If y'all like this content, please like and subscribe so I can keep this guy on the internet. I'm good. Like I watch it because it's like right here, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna subscribe to this guy's channel. I wouldn't care if he fucking doesn't even show the guys. You know what I'm saying? Gonna get rid of all this saturated shit and start like having more informational stuff again.
Yeah, because it was, I would say it was a lot
Easier for me to get some
informational shit through YouTube. But let me see what's next. Hot Tui girl. Let me see your videos, your likes, playlist like videos. Oh, Eli.
I said, hey, my trench coat, that's a big coat.
Medicine? Yeah. Let's get weird into it. Number 8, Roman chariot racing. If you think Formula 1 is dangerous, imagine the cars are made of wicker and leather. The engine is 4 panicked horses, and the other drivers are actively trying to kill you with whips. Roman chariot racing was the biggest sport in the ancient world, a spectacle that makes the Super Bowl look like a knitting circle. The Circus Maximus in Rome could hold 150,000 spectators. The drivers, or aurigae, were mostly slaves. But if they survived, they could become richer than senators. The key word there is if. The chariots were incredibly light and unstable. To control the immense power of the horses, drive down their waists. This gave them leverage, but it also meant that if the chariot crashed, which happened in almost every race, the driver would be dragged behind the stampeding horses until he was essentially erased from existence. Drivers carried a small knife to cut themselves free.
I'm pretty sure it's some type of play on the words. Let me think.
Wood and broken
Gay
factions like the Blues, Greens, Reds, and Whites. They were the original soccer hooligans. They would riot in the stands, beat up rival fans, and occasionally burn down parts of the city if their team lost. The Nika riots in Constantinople started by chariot fans.
Like over
30,000 people dead.
every morning.
The sport didn't really get banned so much as the Roman economy collapsed.
Every morning
people
wake up
could no
going.
longer afford to feed 4 horses just to watch them
I'm
crash.
still healthy.
It was a high-speed meat grinder that proved humanity has always loved speed, even when the brakes hadn't been invented yet. Number 7, the Mesoamerican ball game. Imagine a sport where the halftime show involves a high priest and an obsidian knife, and the MVP trophy is a shallow grave. This is the Mesoamerican ball game, known variously as Ulamalisli, or pits, played by the Maya, Aztecs, and others for over 3,000 years. The court was an eye-shaped stone alleyway. The ball was made of solid rubber, weighing up to 9 pounds. For context, the soccer ball weighs about 1 pound.
Damn,
If the
9
solid rubber
pounds.
cannonball hit you in the head, you were dead. If it hit you in the stomach, you wished you were dead. To make it harder, You weren't allowed to use your hands.
Yeah, right.
You
Like,
had to
damn,
keep
that's
the
a
ball in the
heavy
air using
ass
only your
ball.
hips, knees,
9 pounds,
the
and then
players would
they
think
like
that
use their
shoulder
hips, I think,
but
to
the
like hit the
internal
ball
weight was
into
just
the
under
hole.
normal. The objective was
That's
to keep the
fucking
ball
hard,
moving,
dude.
or in later versions,
9
pass
pounds,
it through a tiny
dude.
stone hoop mounted high on the wall. Putting a 9-pound ball through a vertical hoop using only your hip is practically impossible, which is why games could last for days. But the real kicker was the religious significance.
Yeah,
This wasn't just a
What
game.
do they say?
It was a reenactment of cosmic battles. The ball represented the sun, and the sun needs fuel. That fuel was blood. At the end of major
Goddamn!
ritual games, human sacrifice was
Crash
mandatory.
again?
It's just
Historians
fucking
still
not
argue over
working.
who
It's
got
I can't do
sacrificed.
nothing about it.
The losers, which
Any
adds
momentum
insult to
I have,
injury,
it's like
or the
dead.
winners, which would be the highest honor imaginable. Congratulations on the big win. Here is your complimentary decapitation.
For
The
real.
Spanish conquistadors
Like,
were
how
so
do you
horrified
motivate
by
somebody to
the
even win that?
and
Like,
the
I get they like
which they
mind-washed
thought
or
was possessed
whatever
by demons because it
into
bounced.
thinking that it's a
But
sacrifice
they
to the
banned the
greater
game and
gods.
destroyed the courts. It was a rare
I believe
instance
it.
where the
I believe
Europeans
it.
looked at a local custom
I
and
believe
said,
it happened.
okay,
You know what I'm saying?
even we think this is a bit much. Number 6,
You're getting people
mob
to do crazy
football.
shit right now.
You are a peasant in medieval England. Life is short, plague is rampant, and you have a lot of repressed rage. Once a year on Shrove Tuesday, the local authorities allow you to unleash all that anger in a game called mob football. This wasn't football as you know it. There were no goalposts, no field markings, and no limit on the number of players. The teams were usually entire villages or rival parishes. The ball was an inflated pig's bladder encased in leather. The goal was to get the ball from one landmark to another, usually church porches that were miles apart. The space between the goals included rivers, dense forests, town squares, and people's private homes. There were essentially no rules. You could punch, kick, tackle, and trample anyone in your way.
Damn.
If the ball went into a river, 300 men would dive in after it, resulting in mass drownings.
Damn.
If the ball went into a shop, that shop was no longer a shop. It was kind of splinters. It was less a sport and more a sanctioned riot. Kings repeatedly tried to ban it. King Edward II issued a proclamation in 1314 forbidding the game because the noise and chaos were disturbing the peace, and more importantly, distracting men from practicing archery, which was necessary for war. But the mob loved their violence too much. The game persisted for centuries, evolving into rugby and soccer,
What?
but stripping away the part where you could legally assault your neighbor and destroy his fence just because he lived in the wrong parish. Number 5, pancration. In the sanitized world of modern sports, we have rules. You can't bite people in boxing. You can't kick people in the groin in soccer. In ancient Greece, however, they looked at the concept of safety regulations and laughed. Enter pancration, the Olympic sport that was essentially MMA designed by psychopaths. The name translates to all powers, and it was a submission sport with only 2 rules: no biting and no eye gouging. Everything else was legal, and when the Spartans participated, they ignored the rules anyway, because they considered following rules to be a sign of weakness. Matches had no time limits and no weight classes. You fought until one person surrendered, was knocked unconscious, or died. Techniques included breaking fingers, a specialty of a fighter named Sostratos, strangulation, and kicking opponents in the stomach until they collapsed. The referees carried heavy sticks to whip fighters who violated the 2 meager rules, but usually, they just stood back and let the trauma happen. It was considered the ultimate test of male strength, blending boxing and wrestling into a slurry of violence. The most famous story of pancration involves a fighter named Arishian. He was being strangled by his opponent in a championship match. As he was fading into the darkness of death, Arishian managed to kick his opponent and dislocate the guy's ankle. The pain was so intense that the opponent tapped out and surrendered. At that exact moment, Arishian died from the chokehold. The judges declared Arishian the winner posthumously. He remains the only athlete in history to win a gold medal by dying.
Damn.
The sport was eventually banned by the Roman Emperor Theodosius I in 393 AD. Not because it was too violent, but because he was banning all pagan festivals. It took humanity another 500 years to reinvent the UFC. But we added 2 more rules.
To bring back the pagan holiday.
Number 4.
He brought it back.
Nomachia. On a sunny day in 80 AD, you walk into the
Here's the
Colosseum.
history of your pieces.
You expect to see gladiators fighting lions, or maybe an execution or 2. Instead, you look down and see that the entire arena floor is gone,
How do you get the
replaced by millions of gallons of water. There are full-size warships floating in it. You are about to witness a Nomachia, the most expensive and logistically insane sport in human history. The Romans were show-offs of the highest order. It wasn't enough to conquer the known world. They had to recreate it inside a building just to prove they could plumbing. Emperors like Titus and Claudius would order the flooding of amphitheaters or the excavation of massive artificial lakes to stage naval battles. These weren't theatrical performances with actors pretending to die. These were thousands of prisoners of war and condemned criminals dressed as opposing fleets, usually Greeks versus Persians, and told to kill each other for real. The scale is hard to comprehend. In one event, hosted by Emperor Claudius at Fucine Lake, 19,000 men were forced to fight. That is larger than the actual size of most ancient armies. The water would turn red within minutes. The players knew that if they fought hard enough and put on a good show, the emperor might grant them mercy. If they tried to fake it, the Praetorian Guard was standing on the docks with catapults to sink them. The engineering required to flood the Colosseum and then drain it quickly enough to have a land battle the next day is something modern engineers still argue about. It was a flex of hydraulic power that has never really been matched. However, the naumachia eventually faded away, not because of the cruelty. The Romans loved that part, but because the arenas started cracking under the weight of the water, and the colossal cost of staging a literal war for entertainment bankrupted the treasury. It turns out simulating a naval disaster is almost as expensive as having a real one. Number 3, board track racing. You are perched on a wooden bleacher in 1920. The smell of sawdust and castor oil filling your nose. Below you is an oval track, but it's not made of asphalt or dirt. It is made of thousands of 2x4 wooden planks, banked at a terrifying 45-degree angle. This is a murder drone, and you are about to watch men die for the price of a hot dog. Board track racing was the American obsession before NASCAR, featuring motorcycles that were essentially bicycle frames with airplane engines strapped to them. These bikes had no brakes. Let me repeat that.
Bicycle.
They had absolutely no brakes. They also had no throttle control. The engine was either off or full screaming death, and the only way to slow down was to hit a kill switch that shorted the magneto, which would often cause the unburnt fuel in the exhaust to explode, shooting flames onto the oil-soaked wooden track. The tracks themselves were the real villains here. Constructed from cheap lumber, they would warp and decay rapidly. As the bikes tore around at over 100 miles per hour, the tires would chew up the wood, creating splinters. But these weren't the kind of splinters you get from a rough park bench. These were 2-foot-long daggers of timber that would fly up and impale riders and spectators alike. Imagine racing through a tornado of wooden spears while riding along. If a rider fell, the rough wood acted like a cheese grater against their skin. If they didn't fall, they might just fly off the top of the steep banking and launch into the crowd. In one horrific incident in New Jersey, a crash killed the racers and several spectators. Yet the race continued because the show must go on. The combination of oil-soaked wood and exploding engines meant tracks frequently burned down, which was probably the universe's way of saying, stop doing this. By the 1930s, the murder drones were dismantled. The carnage was too high, the maintenance too expensive, and the Great Depression meant people couldn't afford to watch men turn themselves into human mulch anymore. Number 2, fox tossing. We usually think of the 17th and 18th centuries as a time of high culture, from Baroque music and very powdery wigs. If you peel back the velvet curtain of the European aristocracy, you find a group of people so profoundly bored that they invented Fuchsprellen, or fox tossing. This wasn't a sport for athletes. It was a party game for couples who wanted to flirt while launching woodland creatures into the stratosphere. Here is the setup. You and your partner stand about 20 feet apart in a courtyard, holding the ends of a long webbed strap or sling, laying it flat on the ground. Then, the game master releases a confused fox, badger, or wildcat. As the animal scampers across your strap, you and your partner yank the ends with all your might, turning the fabric into a trampoline. The goal was simple physics. Transfer kinetic energy into the animal to see how high it could fly. It sounds like a cartoon, but the reality was gruesome. A skilled tossing couple could launch a fox 24 feet into the air. The King of Poland, Augustus the Strong, was reportedly a massive fan and held a contest in Dresden where over 600 foxes, 280 hares, and a few wood-colored boars were tossed in a single effort. Being heavy and dense, didn't fly so much as they just broke the wrists of the tossers, which feels like instant karma. The participants would dress in full court regalia, sometimes costuming themselves as mythological heroes, while the animals were occasionally dressed in bits of cardboard and tinsel to look like caricatures of unpopular political figures. It was a bizarre mix of cruel blood sport and arts and crafts hour. Eventually, the sport died out as cultural sensibilities shifted, and people realized that perhaps flinging wildlife at the sun wasn't the pinnacle of sophistication. Plus, The cleanup required after hundreds of animals hit the ground at terminal velocity was likely a nightmare that no amount of perfume could cover up. It remains a stark reminder that before Netflix, humans would do absolutely anything to pass the time. Number 1. Auto polo. Imagine you are a wealthy thrill seeker in the early 1910s. You love the sophistication of polo, with its horses and mallets and casual aristocracy. But you have a slight problem. Horses are alive, they have feelings, and they don't explode nearly often enough for your taste. Enter the short-lived, catastrophic brainchild of the Industrial Revolution known as auto polo. This was exactly what it sounds like.
Auto polo.
Instead of normal thoroughbreds, players strapped themselves into stripped-down Model T Fords, essentially motorized bathtubs with wheels, and drove at speed toward a giant ball while swinging sledgehammers. The concept was simple. Replace the biological agility of a horse with the mechanical fragility of early 20th century engineering. The cars were stripped of their roofs, doors, and windshields, not for aerodynamics, but because you were definitely going to fall out of them. And glass shards are annoying to pick out of your teeth. To protect the driver and the mallet man hanging off the side like a gargoyle, the vehicles were fitted with roll bars. This was the first time in history roll bars were used, mainly because this was the first time people decided to flip cars over as a hobby. The matches were less about scoring goals and more about waiting to see whose engine block would eject itself first. Collisions were mandatory. Cars would routinely T-bone each other, flip continuously, and catch fire, much to the delight of the screaming crowds. In fact, the damage was so severe that matches rarely finished, because all the vehicles would be reduced to smoking piles of scrap metal before the clock ran out. It was a demolition derby played by people wearing ties. The referee, the poor soul tasked with maintaining order in a game defined by vehicular manslaughter, had to act as an on-field mechanic, dodging spinning tires and leaking oil pans. Eventually, the sport was banned, not because the government stepped in, but because the cost of replacing an entire fleet of automobiles every weekend became too high even for the rich, and the insurance premiums skyrocketed to the point where it was cheaper to just buy a new factory than to insure a single match. And that's our time for today. More strange things are always coming, so I'll see you in the next one.
On my trench coat, it's a big coat.
Medicine? Yeah. Yeah, no, you don't want that, man.
What am I doing it for?
That's for sex.
Huh?
That's for sex.
What's your talent?
Yeah,
Look good? Look good?
Listen, I'm not gonna say I'm hating on the fit, but let's move on, okay? Now in 29.
Yeah, and I'm still born. Fuck you talking about.
My camera is on. That is not on. I can see only black things. Nothing. No face. No everything.
All right, you singing me.
I can't see you.
Darling, I thought you missed me. Tell me that I had it all
Okay.
Is still dad or something, or his dad? Dad was calling him because he took off at night, I guess.
Okay.
I missed it. I'm all ready to come get you.
Okay.
His friends.
His friends saying he's pissed at him for getting caught.
No, his friends are laughing. Yeah, because he got caught. I
And
guess
they're
they were.
saying I'm fucking pissed that you got caught because now we all gotta go back home. Who is that saying I'm fucking pissed? Was that his dad?
No, his dad said that. His dad said
Okay,
I'm
okay.
fucking pissed. He said,
Okay.
I'm fucking pissed.
He
He
said he
said,
got caught by his mom.
he said, yeah, I think he said, your mom's coming to get you. He said,
Yeah.
your mom's coming to get you.
Oh, the dad was telling him that.
Yeah,
Your mom's
either he's on
Visiting.
either he's visiting
Oh,
with his
yeah.
dad and then
Yeah.
skipped out, You see what I'm saying?
Mom's like, I got him. You ain't fucking watching him.
Maybe, but he
Or
told
maybe
him,
he's just like, I'm just gonna send you back home to your mom.
or maybe he's the dad and he's watching, but he was just like, he's just like, or he's stepdad. I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah, but he said, your mom's coming to get you. I'm fucking pissed.
Yeah.
And then his friends are laughing because he got caught. And he's like, where you at so I can come get you?
Yeah.
But he's not even telling me.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to give him Well, that's it. I'll be back when I come back. We're gonna do some kind of booty. You know, the other reason why we did so good too is because I was using automatic guns basically, like the shotgun, automatic shotgun, and the other one that shoots real fucking fast. You know, so.